If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video trying to decide which massage chair actually lives up to the hype, you're not alone. It's easy to get stuck between glossy marketing claims and the fear that you'll end up with a bulky piece of furniture that barely massages and takes up half the living room. That hesitation, wondering if the price tag really translates into fewer spa appointments, fewer sore mornings, and a genuine place to unwind, can make the decision feel way bigger than it needs to be. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and in the next few minutes I'll walk through the things that matter most when you're weighing a full-body massage chair against your budget, space, and daily routine. First off, let's talk about why the Osaki Monarch catches my eye in a crowded market. The chair markets itself as a zero-gravity 3D SL track machine with a ton of tech: muscle tension detection, a 3D plus sonic massage mechanism, and a body scan that supposedly tailors each session to you. Those buzzwords sound impressive, but the real question is how they translate when you sit down after a long day at the office or after a hard workout. I dug into the specs, skimmed through a handful of buyer comments, and tried to imagine the day-to-day scenarios where each feature either shines or falls flat. The first thing I noticed is the space-saving design. Osaki calls it space-saving technology recliner, and the chair does indeed have a more compact footprint than many of its competitors. The backrest folds forward and the footrest slides under the seat, which means you can tuck it into a corner without feeling like you've sacrificed half the living room. For anyone living in an apartment or a modest house, that's a practical win. The zero-gravity position also tilts you back enough that your spine is in a neutral, slightly elevated angle, something physiotherapists often recommend for reducing pressure on the lower back. In a real-world test, sitting in that position for 10 minutes felt genuinely lighter on the hips, especially after a day of standing at a construction site. If you've ever tried a regular recliner and felt the sag after a while, the zero-gravity tilt on the Monarch helps keep the pressure evenly distributed. Muscle tension detection is another feature that could easily be a gimmick, but here it works by using sensors built into the seat and backrest to gauge where you're holding the most stress. The chair then adjusts the intensity of its rollers and airbags accordingly. In practice, that means if you've been hunched over a laptop, the upper back and shoulders get a deeper, more focused knead, while the lower back stays gentler. The 3D plus sonic mechanism adds a side-to-side motion to the rollers, mimicking the hand-to-hand motion you might get from a professional therapist. The sonic vibrations feel like a subtle hum that penetrates the tissue without being jarring. I tried a 30-minute deep tissue program after a weekend of mountain biking, and the combination of roller depth and the extra vibrational cue seemed to loosen the tightness in my calves and hamstrings better than a standard 2D roller would. Air massage is where the Monarch adds a spa-like touch. With 40 individual air cells spread across the back, hips, calves, and feet, the chair can inflate and deflate in sequences that mimic a full-body compression wrap. The calf and lumbar heating therapy, which uses low-level warmth, is especially comforting on cold mornings. I paired the heat with the relax program after a chilly commute, and the warmth lingered for about 15 minutes after the session ended, helping my muscles stay loose while I read a book. For someone with chronic lower back pain, that gentle heat can be a useful adjunct to the mechanical massage. Now, let's get into the practical side effects you might not think about until you actually own the thing. Noise is a common complaint with high-tech chairs, and the Monarch is quieter than a typical household vacuum but not silent. The rollers make a soft whirring that's noticeable if you're in a very quiet room, but the overall sound level stays under conversational volume. If you plan to use it while watching TV or listening to music, the noise won't be a distraction. However, if you're looking for a completely silent meditation pod, you might want to keep that in mind. Setup can be a hurdle for some. The chair arrives mostly assembled, you mainly need to attach the footrest and plug it in. The user manual is dense, but the on-screen menu walks you through a quick calibration that takes about 2 minutes. Once it's calibrated, the body scan saves your profile, so you don't have to re-enter preferences each time. That convenience is a genuine time saver for busy people who just want to press start after a long shift. When it comes to value for money, The real test is whether the chair can replace enough spa visits to justify the upfront cost. A single professional deep tissue massage can range from $80 to $150, and if you get one every 2 weeks, you're looking at $2,000 too.